What's up? I am here with Mr. Jin Kazama,
Jinzu.
Kazuya Mishima, all them
It's
niggas.
Tekken.
Tekken Plus. You gotta remember the plus. It's Tekken Plus.
Yeah, it keeps me away from copyright.
That's lit, bro. They be like, that's already a video game. Nah, but what's good, bro? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, bro.
That's
I've
good.
just been chilling.
That's lit.
For real.
Man, I was just listening to the games we played too. So
You put, yeah,
if you
the
don't
games we
know,
play.
it's like his best song. Sorry if my head looks like I got like a knot right here. It's my hair. It's
Yeah,
like
your head
fucking
looks
weird.
mad big with that, with the hood and the hat on. Ah, you straight now. You straight.
but, but what's good, man? I'm gonna just ask you some questions, but mainly because it's you, I kind of want it to be like organic. So like a lot of the
Hmm.
questions, like we can just go in a conversation basically, because there's some stuff I want you to touch on.
Okay, for sure.
So yeah, but first we're gonna start scripted. You know, I gotta get the script, gotta get that script out. So
Let's
tell the
go.
people who you are, where you're from, and what you do, if that's not obvious, because it's
All right,
obvious.
so um, Grant or Tekken. I really don't care what my supporters or my fans call me by. They can call me by my real name or Tekken. And I'm a recording artist, experimental ragecore rap artist from Wisconsin. And yeah, I don't really do much aside from make music for other people. You know what I mean? That's like the dream in mind.
Okay, okay, okay. So,
Yeah,
what are some of your inspirations? Like, what made you want to start recording music?
Earl Sweatshirt. Bruh, the Doris by Earl Sweatshirt made me start rapping.
Hmm.
Made me start rapping. But what originally really pushed me to get into like the creative side was like Netsky, the EDM producer, and then like Chelsea Grin, the whole band. Like it's just my music is just a conglomerate of different genres. Like I have a song on the EDM, like with knives on a drum and bass beat on the Wretch page. I do like metal shit. I do like tread shit. Like I just try to like keep everything like different. Like the majority of my music, I just don't like it to sound the same every time. You know what I mean? That's why I only have one super distorted song and it hit instantly. Like the games we play ran up so fast, and I like to keep that different because if I made another carbon copy like the games we play, people will call me a one trick pony, and I don't like that at all.
Well,
So I
you
always got to keep things
you
different
definitely not that. You definitely
for
not that.
sure.
We just gonna settle that here, okay? You definitely not that. I've heard neck. I've heard heart. I've heard blame. We can go down the list. None of them are exactly the same. You know, it's weird. You know, it's a Tekken song, but they're different. I feel like that's why you're one of the most like, especially in the underground. In my opinion, that's why you're one of my favorites. That's why I feel like you're one of the most like influential artists because you don't. It's hard to explain. It's like you don't repeat. You make genuine music. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Like you don't just copy and do the same. And not that that's bad. If some artists are good at that one style and that works, it works. But I like that you are truly experimental. That's rare to say for a lot of artists. The underground is pretty common, but it's rare to say for an artist. You know what I mean?
right. Because like I feel like I don't know. That's one thing. Like I tried to do the same shit. I won't lie. Before I was versatile at all, like I was just like on boom bap beats, on boom bap beats. The whole time I was like spiritual lyrical miracle shit. The whole fucking time. And then I came up like I was like I gotta do something different. So then I got into like that trap shit, that heavy hitting bass shit. And
Yeah.
then I was just like hold on because like before I taught like myself how to like use my voice and like scream and shit. So
Mhm.
then I started screaming and stuff, and then like I found the versatility like within that shit. And then I found out that there's a whole fucking like underground scene that's just a whole bunch of like hard shit. And I was like, damn, like I know I appreciate you for noticing that shit. Like I don't even notice that shit half the time, cause like I think that my shit's trash personally. Like I think my shit trash.
But that's common. You hear at least the people out here, they artists always say they don't like their own music. Like they can't listen to it. That's common as fuck. Like I remember Scarlo in an interview, he even said that he was like he can't sit there and listen to his own shit. I feel like that's kind of funny. Some can, but it's common. I think that's common.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it is pretty common. It is. Like, I always got, like, sigh people, like, in Retch, my fans and shit, always being like, yo, this shit is so good. Like, good fucking job. And it's like, yo, I fucking hate this song. Like, I hate this shit. I don't know why the fuck y'all like this. Like,
bruh. So you wait. So you telling me when you put on the games we play and you hear I'm running, I got it. You don't be like, bro, that
oh,
shit.
yeah.
Come on,
When I'm
man.
like, I'm robbing and running ahead of the damn. Yeah,
Come
okay. I
on,
did.
man.
I did do good on that song, but it wouldn't. No, seriously, that song would not be that song if it wasn't for Psy. The mix he did on that shit, like it's not even just like the beat itself. It's like what Psy did to like my vocals in the beat. It was never that distorted, you know. So
Damn.
like once he just like sent it back, he's like, "Yo, I distorted this." I was like, what? I was like, huh? Like I'm not used to this shit. I put my earbuds on and I'm like, holy shit! Like I was like feeling some kind of way after that. Like the games we play is the only song by me that gave me goosebumps.
That shit, bruh. If I had to have a list of like, I'm thinking about that by the way too. And if other people watch this, let me know that's a good idea. I'm thinking about having like an old school aggressive rap versus new school aggressive rap. That is definitely one of like the songs you have to have for like new school aggressive rap. Like that is some timeless shit. Just the way, like you rap fast, you yell, you kind of scream on there. Someone wouldn't say you scream, but you kind of scream on there. You yell, you rap fast. It's semi lyrical for like an aggressive song. So like that's up there for aggression. Like in my personal opinion, I don't just want to be a fanboy over here about that shit, but come on, man.
Nah, you're straight.
I gotta be straight up. Like I feel like that shit, bro. That shit go hard. I don't know. Blame. I like Blame too. We ain't gonna get into that about what people say about Blame. Blame is fucking hard too, bro.
You're
Like,
off beat.
like my favorite part, like in that song. Hold on, start Blame for me real quick, cause I know the lyrics once I hear it.
Start Blame. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to play it off my phone though because my speakers.
I
I
know,
turned them off.
I could have done that. Okay, cause like I asked that specifically because it's a certain part of there I want to talk about.
Okay.
Like,
Can you hear it?
yeah. Sorry. Hold up. There you go.
I wanna
Yeah.
know
Okay.
what part you're thinking
I
about
remember
this.
now. I remember now. It's the part
What
where you're
part?
like flow switch and then just start rapping fast, like bro.
Can't stop to the flow switch.
Like I
Oh
have
yeah.
never heard that in the song before. You literally say flow switch and then switch the flow. Like that shit goes so hard, bro.
Oh
Come
yeah.
on, man.
It goes
I
one,
don't, I'm
two,
not
three,
just trying to
four.
sit here and hype you up, but you can't lie, bro.
Nah, you're hyping me. You're hyping me up. You're hyping me up even just being on my computer screen right now.
But really, what song have you? If someone could tell me a song, like put it up. I never heard a rapper say flow switch and literally switch the flow. Like, come
Like
on, bro.
entirely.
Like, who did that before? You know, like, can you name
I have
someone?
not seen anybody do that before.
Exactly. Come on, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop hyping you up. But yeah, that shit goes so
Nah,
hard to me,
dude,
bro.
you straight, bro. Hyping me up, giving me energy, boy.
I'm glad. I'm
You
glad.
don't
I'm
want this
glad.
shit to be no boring interview.
Hell no. It's Tekken. No. No,
I
size ain't gonna be. The others weren't. This ain't. No, man. Come on, man. No, bro.
should be
No,
lit.
it's Tekken. We doing this shit. Okay, but let me keep going on the question. So, you kind of already answered the musical inspiration. Any other musical inspirations you've had?
Sigh, definitely sigh too. Just mainly because of like, I don't know. I've wanted to quit so many fucking times, bro. And
Damn.
like, this is like me being serious. Like, I've wanted to quit so many times and just throw it all away. But it was always Psy that was like, yo, like, we're gonna make it to the fucking top. Like, you can't quit on me. Like, bro, like, it's me, you, and Mr. Wretch forever, you know, type shit. And it's like, I always gotta remember that shit like every single day. So like him just being there for me as my best friend and as my brother, bro. Like he just sits there and he inspires me to work harder every single fucking day, and I always will have him in my gratitude, bro.
Shout
Like real
out
shit.
Shy, bro. That's
Yeah,
that.
real shit.
That's my mom. Shy is my mom. Shout
Nah,
out Shy, bro.
yeah, Sai's literally one of the greatest friends I could fucking ask for, bro. Like Dude, literally, I had no money in my fucking pocket, bro, and he lent me money, bro. He lent me money when I was broke, bro. Like, we're gonna feed each other, bro. Like,
I
real
fuck with
shit.
that. That's cool, bro. Gotta keep friends like that. Let me see. So, I'm gonna be careful about this question, but who would you like to collab with in the future, like in particular? Like, if you
Who would I
have
like,
anyone in particular.
who would I like to collab with? That's a great question, bro, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't fucking like anybody in this scene right now. I really don't. Like, in the scene, nobody. Nobody, honestly. Like, there's like a few people. Like, I want to collab with like Lilith is gone, but like she makes like completely different shit. Like on the hard scene though, like ooh, I want to work with Heel. I don't think Heel fucks with me, but I want to work with him on like some production shit. Like he make me a beat shit. That'll be fire. But
That's
that's
lit.
really it. But like big mainstream artists, bro. Like this might come to a surprise, bro. But Katy Perry. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. Nah, I don't even know, bro. Like I don't know. Like there's like oh yeah, but like Witch Cult shit. I'm also in Witch Cult. I'm definitely working with Jasper. We dropped the Arsonist remix on his second SoundCloud, but
Huh. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Look, my hat keep doing that. Yeah. Shit. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. That's so mainstream. So like, okay, I want to ask. Let me see. Who would I think would be cool? You wouldn't want to work with anyone that's like, because you say you used to be on that boom bap shit. I'm trying to think. You know what I think would be cool though? I don't know if you would want to, but I think it would be cool if you worked with Joey Badass. Like if you ever got that big, I would love to see
I
that.
knew you were gonna say that. Once you said boom bap, I was like, this boy gonna say Joey Badass.
I could have said Joyner Lucas. I could have said
You
that
could
shit.
have said Joyner Lucas, but I ain't taking no L's. Nah, I would definitely work with Joey Badass if it was a fucking opportunity. Definitely. Cause like, I don't know. But
Okay.
like that's far ahead, bro. I'm not at that point yet. I'm not
Of
at that
course,
point yet.
you gonna get there though. That's the thing. You're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. But yeah, that's just a fun topic I just wanted to ask. So let me see. Oh, what would you say is your favorite song that you've worked on?
Favorite song that I've worked on. Um, I honestly don't like any of them,
Okay,
but
which one do you
like
think is the best? You say games we played, but I
it's
don't think you think that's like the best you've done.
the best I've done would probably have to be Get a Grip with Raid and Nasty Blade,
Mm-hmm.
or it would have to be an unreleased track on my project that I'm literally like dropping on the fourth.
Gonna drop.
Nah, and Heart because Heart has a message. Heart was like that feeling song, bro. Like I was going through shit. Like I was in the middle of a mental fucking breakdown for like a week, and I was just like, that was when I wanted to throw everything away too. Like I've had them points like 4 or 5 times within the past like 8 months, and like I like just put it all into that song, and then like I just like it was just boom, one and done. Like then I was just like, okay, I'm good now, cause like I don't know, cause like all of my supporters and shit, like I get messages. I literally just got like a message 15 minutes ago and shit. Like your music helps me within my own life and shit, and I'm like, I dedicated, literally, I dedicated the song to those people. You know what I mean? Like that's their song. That's not my song. That's their song. You
Yeah.
know, and whenever they're feeling down and shit, I want them to listen to that song. You know, it's not no depression for an aesthetic shit. Like suicide and depression and all that other shit. Like that is such a fucking hard thing to go through.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know?
serious thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't wanna see anybody that fucks with me, like that supports me, that like does anything to help me go through that shit too. You know? Like all of my supporters, I don't even like to call them fans, bro, because that shit makes me feel like they're like my supporters, bro. They're like they're literally the people that feed my mouth. You know what I mean? And that's like why I'm so fucking grateful for them and shit. And that's why I put them in front of me, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to like, you know, like me as an artist, I know that people probably gonna dog me for that shit. Like, yeah, man, you're the artist. You can make your own choices. And it's like, I know I'm the artist, but there's people here that are expecting me to do things, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to fulfill what they want.
We a cult. I'm just playing.
Big facts. Not for real. I do have a cult following.
Hell yeah.
There might not be a lot. It might not be a big, huge cult, but I have like they fuck with me, and they
They
fuck with me hard. It's
they
just
wear
like
black
this.
robes and chant your name in the dark. Yeah, we do. It's just
It's
Let me
lit.
see.
It's lit.
Now this is a question you've beaten me over the head when I was in your lives a lot, and like you hate the term trap metal. You hate the term trap metal.
We don't call it trap metal.
We don't call it trap metal.
Exactly. So
you want me
the
to
question
explain?
the question is, how do you classify your music? Like, how would you classify your music?
My music is
Fucking loud. You're right.
Nah,
Fucking.
no.
Yo.
I'm playing. I gotta quit that shit. That shit's gonna blow up my fucking earbuds. Nah, okay, so I classify my music as ragecore, and like I don't like to call it trap metal just because it's metal influence, you know, that because that trap metal, that name is
Fucking disgusting.
it's gross. Whenever I hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, I love trap metal," it's like dude, that shit is so clown. That shit is so clown, dude, and like. I like to call my shit just metal or ragecore. Like, there's no in between for me.
I
Like,
mean,
people can.
the thing is though, like real metal head. Okay, like even though your music is good, obviously your music is good, but even real metal heads, they get offended when certain things, especially in the underground, are called metal. Like, that's a real thing. Like your shit is good. They're not even if they like it, they're like real metalheads gonna be like, this is not metal. You know what I mean? It's like just because you use distortion or a guitar doesn't make it metal. That's a lot. I hear that a lot, like a lot. So like, yeah, that's like a thing too. I heard in the metal community. So like, I understand that. So that's why I also understand when a lot of artists don't like being called trap metal because it's not metal. Like most people just say it's aggressive rap or like you said, or rage or industrial or some shit. So, so I get that too. But yeah, so you identify more with ragecore, and the thing is like ragecore is like not that. It's extremely new. It's not that defined yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't. I don't think if you Google ragecore, like you'll probably find like one short ass Wikipedia like, oh, it just uses distortion and heavy 808s. It's like that's it. This is like anyone knows
Yeah.
nothing else. They don't know what type of artists you can find that do it. It's just it's extremely new. So you're like one of the pioneers of ragecore. To be real,
Fact.
I'm hyping your head up some more, but yeah.
Yeah, I won't lie. Like, the first people that actually started ragecore was like, fuck it, Kamiata, all of them. And then
Yeah.
they abandoned the fuck out of that shit. They abandoned the fuck out of it. Like, I seen
Completely.
that shit. It was just
Yeah.
gone. And I was like, yo, this shit fire. Like, I'm not saying I'm inspired by any means. I'm just saying, like, I definitely fit within the category of them.
Mhm.
More so than like the category of like Cameron Ozzy and all them other people. Like, I fit more in the category of them
Right.
within Midnight than I do like the other side. And it's not me like dick riding Midnight Society. Like, I fuck with their movement and shit, but it's just like I fit more with them than anti-world, all of that shit.
Right. I could. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Shit, let me see. So I want to be careful on this one too. The collective topic. What is your current status on that? Like in the collectives, if that's okay to touch on.
In the collectives that I'm in,
Yeah.
Wretch. I'm essentially a co-founder of Wretch.
Hey.
And yeah, like I was gonna leave it and shit, and then Saigen came. He was like,
Nah, bitch.
I was like, okay, like facts. And then I was just like, nah, we gotta get rid of, because we had a lot of loose ends in Wretch, just like people not doing nothing, people just slacking off and shit. And then like he just went and like removed them. I still fuck with a lot of the people that he ended up having to kick, but I fucked with literally all of the people that we had to remove, sadly. But it was just something that I needed to do in order to stay inside of the collective, because just seeing a whole bunch of inactive people, I was like, I'm just leaving, bro.
So
I left-
it's business, not personal. Is what you say?
Yeah, it was business, not personal. And then Sai was like, nah, bro, like we're literally like me, him, Frizz, like all of us were best friends, literally. Like we're like best friends within the collective. Like we're the closest ones to each other and shit. And like me just leaving and shit, that would fuck up the whole entire energy movement. So it's like, nah, like I helped put this shit on. Like if it wasn't for me and Sai like retro not being known right now, you know, within the underground. So I was like, I gotta fucking like help push this shit out, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then with Witch Cult, I originally left Witch Cult because I was just like, nah. Since I left, over my water bottle. I was like, if since I left, like I might as well just leave this shit too. And then I was like, nah. But like I fuck with Jasper, I fuck with Orochi, I fuck with all of them, dude. Eli, like Funerals, all of them. I fuck with Grey Boy, all of them are family too. And like if I would just like leave that shit, then it would just be like I would be like somehow abandoning them and shit. Like Seven Threats, all of them in Witch Cult, like I fuck with them hard. And you know, and like that movement over there too, I fuck with. The only thing that I don't fuck with necessarily is all the fucking drama and shit that goes on within like the collective and shit. But I'm always just defending my brothers and shit. Like, you know, like I don't even like to involve myself in that kind of shit. But I'm literally the kind of person to like if you talk about my fucking brother, bro, I'm coming for you. You know what I mean? Like I'm sticking with my sets.
All right. All right. Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Shoot. So on that topic, how do you feel? And it's not just I don't just mean it. That's the one you went through, but I don't just mean your collectives and affiliates. But how do you feel about beef in the underground as a whole? Like, what is your perception of that?
It's fucking stupid. People just don't like to work together for some reason, and everybody wants to just get the shit themselves, and that's the most ignorant, egotistical piece of shit thing to do. And I think that everybody that's doing it right now will fail. That's all I have to say.
What do you?
Everybody that's you can continue.
Oh, what do you what do you think if hypothetically if do you think that if there was much less beef or even no beef, like how much more significant like do you think the underground would be? Like, do you think it'd even still be underground? Like, how do you feel that would work?
If we all would help each other, I think that it would the underground would essentially be mainstream. But like not mainstream. I mean like mid-range mainstream, like not Lavelle level shit. But
Right.
the main thing that holds us back is just like we have these huge egos down here, especially in the trap metal community, bro. Like everybody's ego is just huge, and it always fucking it fucks up the movement, and it always will fuck up the movement. Like always, like that's why like whenever I see some shit going on, I'm just like, hey, bro, like we gotta either stop or like you're gonna get smoked out on fucking the internet, and then in person you're gonna get fucking smacked.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Because like everybody talks with the biggest mouth, and it's so fucking annoying. Like I don't support that shit. I don't condone that shit. But like it's getting to the point where everybody's getting pissed off, including me. You know what I mean? And it's just literally the most fucking it's the most idiotic shit. You know? Like if we all just help each other, we would be way farther than where we are now. You know?
Yeah. True shit. True shit.
Like I don't stand for that shit at all.
Last question on that subject. Any beefs that you've been in, you don't have to specify at all, but have they developed you? Would you say they've helped you as an artist, or have they hurt you, or like how do you think you being in certain altercations have helped you? Or how have they affected your career?
Every single time somebody mentions me and my dad issues and all that shit, I get more clout. So
Hey man.
that's like I'm literally like I reply and shit because like at first that shit pissed me the fuck off. I was like, yo, so you're being a dick to me about my issues, and then I'm just like, ah, dude, you can say what you want to say, boy. Give me that clout, boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I ain't got no beef aside from a couple people, but that's just like an on-site thing now.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
No more internet talking.
Let me see. We gonna move to a more fun topic. I know your input on this is gonna be interesting as fuck. I just know it. I just know. So you know how like Vibes Forever and like Dark Tones use anime loops. What are some of your favorite animes, if you have one?
Some of my favorite animes.
Yeah.
On Genesis Evangelion, Ghost in the Shell, Naruto's good, Inuyasha. I have so many. Tokyo Ghoul is really good too. I have so many of favorite animes, bro. I can't list. I literally can't list them all.
I don't watch anime. Don't kill me.
Oh, you're straight, bro. Dude, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. I don't know. Especially like and I might sound like a total like whack dude by saying this, but like especially like those animes that are like, you know how like it's the cliche that the schoolgirls and shit, and the schoolgirls have really high pitched voices. I'm just, it's cringy. I just can't watch it like that. I don't know why. It's just
I
like,
feel it.
if somebody catch me watching that shit, they gonna be like, Mike, what you watching? Like, no, I don't know, man.
Yo, you gotta watch a horror.
Or what?
like,
Which
those
one?
shits-
What is it called?
Watch a horror, man, like Tokyo Ghoul or the Ito Junji collection. Like those are fire.
I'll try.
Like, I'm telling
That's
you.
not the only reason. That's just one of the things that like
It's
I
just
just
one
find
of
really
them.
cringy. This is like,
Oh,
ugh.
I feel it. I feel it. Sometimes, dude, sometimes you just can't, bruh. You know, sometimes you just can't. I'm that same way with like soap operas and shit. Like,
So cringy. So cringy.
I can't. I can't.
Oh shit. Have you had and shout out no bands? Has no bands have they made any videos of you like versus anyone?
Yeah, me versus D Cool. D Cool Pharaoh. Which is, I mean, he didn't use the songs that could compete with him. He chose my like softer songs. Aside from the games we play was on there, but he chose like deleted songs like Notice and shit, and like just like softer songs against him. Like, you know, all of his songs were competing, like that was competing. Okay, let me reword that. All of the songs that were competing against me were like hard and they had like similarities to them, and all of the songs that was competing with him that were mine were all different. So like that put me at a disadvantage. Like I have any stand, I had no stand against him. But
Shout out DK.
I fuck with DK.
D cool. That's that nigga. Let me see. Let me think. Another good question. If who would you want to go? Who do you think you can go against in a no bands video? Like who would you prefer to go against?
Project, and I'll smoke Project. I don't give a fuck. Tell Project I want smoke.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Nah, I'm playing. I'm playing. Like I'm playing. I'm playing. Nah, he's been around. He's been around for a minute. He probably just have his fans spawn on me, and I'd be like, "Fuck." I'd be like, "Fuck." No, I'm getting dragged under.
Right.
Nah, but actual artists that I could compete with at our level, though, I don't know. I'm not trying to sound egotistical, but I'm better than the majority.
I don't think that's egotistical. Like, it's just weird. You don't like your music, but then you say it's better than
But I know.
everybody.
No, I know I don't like my music, and that's saying something about theirs.
Damn.
Like I'm not trying to sound like a hater.
Yo, that's wild. That's funny.
Nah, bro, I'm wilding out. This jewel be hitting.
They put in this
Nah,
jewel, bro.
I mean, I respect a lot of artists in the underground right now, especially within like our community and shit.
Mhm.
But a lot of them I can't respect, and a lot of them just like as a person, not my thing. So I just don't fuck with them.
Okay. True. Let me see. Personally, I would like to see you versus Kamiata, but that's just me.
You versus Kamiata, bro? Didn't you hear? I'm a Kamiata clone.
No, I literally said that because you said you and him have a rate. Okay, I know you're not a Kamiata clone. That's just.
I'm not. I know. Nah, people be saying I'm Kamiata clone because I have a plus in my name. The plus stems from the copyright and searchable reasons, because I want to make sure that my name is searchable, and adding the plus instantly like gives me a higher chance of being Googled.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I didn't know Kamiata had a
Mhm.
plus in his name, to be real, but I didn't know it was
He-
Kamiata plus.
Yeah, he has one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like I said this in the live like 50 million times because I'm immature. I'm gonna be your sidekick, and I'm gonna name myself Mortal Kombat Plus. Straight. That's just what it is.
That's lit. That's lit though.
I'm gonna be a sidekick. But now let me see. Another question. So, fashion in the underground is a big thing. So, what would you say your fashion is if you have a sense of fashion or style?
All black clothes, boots,
Boots, like
black nails.
like these bitches. It's like
Kind of. I would show you my boots, but they're all the way over there. I have a pair of Air Force One Special Forces.
you see that? You see how I had to like sit back and like show that bitch? I had to.
I'll show my bare foot on the fucking camera.
Do it, bro. Do it. Do it.
Oh hell no, that's weird.
Yeah, you
Nah,
probably got
that's
some fans that got feet, that got foot fetishes. I don't know if you want to do that shit.
facts. And then like I don't know. Sometimes I'm not even gonna hold you, bruh. Like sometimes I don't even take this off. Like I don't even care. I don't really care about dressing nice and shit. Like I have a couple bape items, but that's really it. Like I don't really focus on like fashion too much. But whenever I want to flex, I usually got the shit to flex. So
Flexing on these hoes, bro.
essentially. But shout out the love of my life. If you're gonna ever watch this, you know I love you.
Send it to her. Or him. I don't know who it is.
It's a
sorry.
girl.
Let me see. Let me see. Um. So, all right. So I want to go. I'm gonna go into this topic, but I wanted to lead into different topics. So this is where I kind of wanted to start going into more conversation. So first, I'm gonna start off was what was your, how did X influence your, like, career or music? Like, how did he influence you as an artist, if he did?
Whoa, in his bitch. No, like, nah, he just like he didn't influence just me. He influenced like all of his community in one way or another. Like whether it be like him directly or him influencing the artist that influenced the person that makes music right now. You know, like he's stemmed this community so much. It's not even funny. Like that's why I respect him and shit so highly as an artist. And his like I was never a big fan of his softer stuff, but I've always been a big fan of his like rage shit. Like his rage shit goes so fucking hard.
Hell yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I said this in every interview. Like, my first was like, I'm sipping tea in your hood, and that's what
Ooh,
made me
yeah.
like, that made me this who I am now, a fan of all this shit. Like, that was the
Fact.
first song, and then I just like listened to everything else, like all that
I
shit.
think that I'm sipping tea in your hood was original God song. Calm me out
Yeah,
on it.
I heard it was called Okachai, and it was original God, him, and Kamiyata, but he left their verses off, and I think that's why the song continues, because it's like it continues without him rapping. I think that's why it was like a diss to them, low key, which like it's crazy as fuck to think about. Like, as far as a diss, you're not saying anything, but it's dissing them. I don't know. I think that's some like crazy shit. If that's the case, I don't know for sure, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I think that they just had like issues or some shit, but I don't know.
yeah.
That's not.
I don't know.
my-
But yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to Kamiyata and Original God. Though, to be real, lately I haven't heard a lot of like, is Original God like he's still making music, right? Or did he like
Yeah,
take a
he
break?
just dropped a project a few days ago.
I gotta check that out. I haven't heard his shit in like recently, but yeah, I gotta check it out.
Yeah,
Shout him out.
Keenan's cool. I like
Yeah.
Keenan. He's pretty cool.
Cool.
I talk to him sometimes.
Lit, bro. That's lit. He was one of the
Yeah.
first that I've listened to in the scene too. So yeah, so
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. Let me see. I want to get into some real shit because you got a noggin up here, bro. A lot of people don't know that. They just see you smoke your jewel, paint your nails. Like, no, bro. This nigga a whole philosopher. You got to talk about that. So like a lot of the stuff that X was talking about, he used to talk about a lot of things like frequency and a lot of, one thing he always said was creation and evolution, I believe, where he talked about, but he didn't mean it in like the actual terms. Like, he was just saying it in like an analogy to how growth and development is. Like, what things have you taken anything from his philosophy, or
No,
no?
not one thing.
What
Not one
what's your perception on it then? Like, what is your perception on life?
on life. Well,
He's interviewing me right now.
my perception on life, I think, is you're born here to fulfill your purpose, whether it be like a purpose that you've had in a past life and shit, but like you're always here to fulfill your purpose and that dream that you have in mind. And like all these issues, like issues that are brought up to you and shit, like they're literally just for you to knock them down and like grow off of. It's like, I don't know. I think suicide is the most weakest escape too. Like I hate to say that shit too, because I have suicidal tendencies and shit too sometimes. And like I know a lot of other people do too, but like committing suicide is like the weak way out because of the pain that you experience is literally just like you wanting like my shit was fucking up. I think my shit was fucking up. So I
No,
was
I
like,
heard it. I picked it up. I heard you.
okay, because like I seen the little thing and I was like, I was looking at it and I was trying to speak, but nah. Like all the issues that you're faced with every single day is like for you to grow off of, you know? It's like the bounce back. It's the bounce back, you know? Like that one Big Sean song. Last night took an L, but tonight I bounced back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like every single time like all that shit like happens in your personal life, you always just have to find a way back out. You know? From
Mhm.
like the darkness in life and shit. And like I don't know, that's just like what I think life is essentially is just like fulfilling your purpose that you think that you have. Like my purpose is to help other people, you know? Unless they're a fucking asshole, then they ain't getting no assistance.
Let me see. Let me see. Uh, so on the topic of creation and evolution, how do you think everything came into creation? Like, what do you think about that? And
Oh, I think everything
what is your what's the word I'm looking for? Your worldview of that. I don't want to say
well,
belief.
I think there is a creator from a different plane of reality that created this plane of reality simply by perception. And then, because like there needs to be perception in order to see thing exist, you know? Like there needs to be human perception for things to exist. There always has to be, or some sort of perception, you know? And that's always like it's subjective. It's subjective perception. And I think how the universe came to be was just that, just a whole bunch of people, not even people, just a whole bunch of like beings somehow perceiving, and then like they perceived humans got their own sort of perception, and then they gained human consciousness, and then they evolved from what they were like even before the Homo erectus and all that shit, like back when like we're like straight just little chimps and shit, you know?
Yeah. Huh. Can I ask you something? I want to ask you a question on that.
Yeah, sure.
Have you looked into Hinduism? Because what you were explaining, reason I'm like a lot because it's what you're saying is very reminiscent to Hinduism. So if there's any Hindus watching, correct me if I'm wrong. The belief in Hinduism, at least the mainstream form of Hinduism, you heard of Brahma or the idea
Yeah.
of Brahma. Brahma is the pretty much the Godhead deity who opened his eye and things came into existence. So
Hmm.
it's kind of similar to what you were going on, and it's that idea of the eye or him opening his eye and being like his perception is what reality is, and like we're all in connection to that one thing. So that's kind of that's just what you saying that is just kind of similar. Have you looked into Hinduism or?
I've looked into Hinduism a few times, but like I've never really like sat there and like understood everything that I could have,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because like one of me, my old friend, the reason why I believe like in biocentrism, I know this probably sounds crazy, all right, but the reason why I believe in biocentrism is because I thought about it before I even knew what the fuck it was,
I can
you know?
understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like me and like an old friend of mine took acid. I don't know that sounds stupid as fuck, but like we took acid and we were tripping. So it was like 300 micrograms, and we're sitting down in his ex-girlfriend's fucking basement, shit, and like we're just looking at each other. We can barely even speak. Like I was like repeating words and shit, and then like I just like started explaining it. I was like, mind, nah, up there, mind up there, type shit, and I was like, and then I just sat there and I was like, and then he was like, bro, you just explained something. And I was like, what? He's like, hold on. He went to his fucking, like, he went to his backpack, grabbed a book, or I think he just, like, showed me on his phone. I can't remember because I was tripping balls. And then he just, like, was like, you just explained biocentrism. I was like, you know, I was tripping. So I was like, I was like, what, bro? And, like, I be explaining something, you know, like, I think I told him essentially just, like, are separate bodies, and there's like banks that fill in like conscious pool type shit, you know?
Yeah.
And like he just like explained it a little bit, and I was like, yo, that's what I believe in, you know?
Biocentrism. Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. like I was saying in that live earlier, and what I say now, like my beliefs are like I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna hide that I'm a Christian. So like I have my opinions on these topics, but I understand when people hate hearing Christian like ideology. Like,
Mhm.
so I understand that completely, but it's just like I also want to, like my perception. Like I know more than just Christianity. That I can say that I can't say that for other Christians, but that's why I know about Hinduism. I know about things. So like hearing these things is still, I still like to hear different things, and it's interesting, like to hear like biocentrism. Like I've heard of it, but this is the first time I've known in depth of what it actually is. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's really cool to like add to like my knowledge bank, if you know what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
I think
I'm
that's really
glad that
cool. I don't like to talk about mine because I know people don't like Christianity, but yeah, I think it's cool to learn about others. If I'm asked, I'll say it, but other than that, I'm like, you know,
Yeah, you're just like, why does my beliefs matter? Like, there's nothing wrong with being Christian. I personally just don't.
hmm
Like, there's just something about Christianity as a whole that I just think is like brainwashing, essentially, because like trying to separate a God from yourself. Like, I
hmm
know people are gonna be like, you probably have schizoaffective disorder, but no, like I think that the God complex is real. I think that we're all gods in one way or another.
Well,
You know?
can you go into that if you like to? I think this is interesting. That's why I want you to know
Yeah, for sure.
if you have the energy to.
A God is a creator.
hmm
Okay, we create our own conscious reality. You know,
hmm
and like gods have like gods have free will. God gave us free will, and since we have free will, then now we get to make our own choices. We get to do whatever the fuck we want to. Like essentially, we're gods walking on top of this fucking shitty ass rock. I'm playing. I love the earth, but
This shitty
like
piece of
we're
shit.
even though you're looking at the wooden floor underneath you.
This bitch.
Nah, but like yeah, I think that we're all gods in our own way. Like like we create everything every single fucking day, and separating like a creator from like like our moms are our gods. I love you, mom. No, our gods are like our moms and shit, you know?
hmm
And like that's the thing that I fuck with too. Like your mom created you. Your mom is a god, We create our own subjective reality. We are all gods. People might disagree with me, but I think that yeah, we're just gods. We're just all a bunch of fucking gods, you know? And some of them are gods, but some of them are just fucking idiots. There's like no, there's a huge like, straight just fucking huge bar that just separates people that create their own reality or people that follow opinions and shit like sheep. Like I can name people that just follow people like sheep,
Don't.
you know? I wouldn't. But not like I just mean like in general.
Right. I got you. I got you. Huh. That's an interesting concept. Like I've heard people believing that we are gods before. Like there's tons of religions and world views that say that, but yours is a very interesting one, and especially what is your opinion on the? As you touched on this before, I just want to get it recorded. What is your opinion on the life and death cycle? Like, what do you feel about that?
Like I said, bro, I don't know what happened, bro. Like death is so fucking like death is just so crazy. But like I personally think that like our souls are just connected to this body. Like what I said in the live, our minds are the person, our bodies are the vehicle. We just like drive around the vehicle until like the vehicle breaks down and then we have to get in a car, essentially.
Right.
Know? And like with that shit, like it boils back down to biocentrism. Literally our consciousness could leave because like astral projection explains it. It literally explains that our minds can leave our bodies. Our minds can leave our bodies, and
hmm
like we're not supposed to be connected. This is like that's our soul body. That's what leaves. That's what leaves like when we die. I guarantee you that's what leaves when we die, but nobody knows. Nobody knows at all. No, like only dead people know, and dead people aren't here to tell us what happened. You know?
Okay,
Like
okay. So
humans,
you definitely believe in that triune aspect of separation in body, soul, and mind. Like that's a definite like separation.
there is a definite separation. It's not just like boom, black, I'm dead. You know, like there can't be just that shit. Like you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it's literally impossible.
So is it your concept of energy? You think that energy, like, okay, so science says energy can't be created nor destroyed. Is that the same concept in what like soul or not soul, mind? Yeah, mind or spirit sort of is. It's like it can't
Yeah,
be destroyed. It can just be transformed or like what is
yeah,
that kind of what you're saying or
yeah. Energy cannot be what is it? Destroyed. It can only be created and
created or
transferred.
destroyed? That science says it can't be created or destroyed. Therefore, the form of
Yeah,
energy in science.
it can only be transferred.
Mm-hmm. It can only be
Yeah,
transformed.
I haven't like looked into that, but really deeply. But I know that it can only be like transferred and shit like between things like let's say you push over something like your energy transferred into that shit that you pushed over and then falls, you know, and that kind of goes with the mind too because the mind is literally energy,
Hmm.
and when your mind moves it literally gets transferred somewhere, I guarantee you. Like there's no way in absolute fuck that our minds are just like stuck trapped inside of our fucking skull. Like there's no way. Like our I feel like our brain is just an antenna essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like getting fed consciousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I want to ask you more, like one or two more things. Um, Let me see. So when you say dead people, do you believe in like ghosts and disembodied spirits?
Oh, of course. Of
Have
course.
you had any
I
encounters?
This is a very sensitive topic.
Okay.
Let's get in. Okay, so I was like I was like 10, right? And I lived at my dad's house and shit and like we had a bunk bed and like I was always on top bunk and my brother slept in bottom bunk and shit. And like I like I like woke up in the middle of the night and shit. Like this happened there's like three different occasions like within like the same scenario. I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked down at the foot of my bed and there's like a black shadow, like
Hmm.
just staring at me and
Yeah.
and like I stared. I was just like I was like what the fuck? Like I was like I literally got scared as fuck. Like I was crying and shit. I just ignored the fucking fact that it was there and just tried to sleep. You know, because like your heart's just pumping and shit, like adrenaline. Just like when you see something spooky, like even when you're walking home alone and shit. You know, sometimes I see my own shadow and shit because I have anxiety and shit. And I think somebody's behind me, so I just like just look back real quick and shit. Like that's the same shit, but like yeah. And then the other time, this one is where it got really fucking weird. So I was on top of the bunk bed again, and I like had this weird like if like a fucking hit like on my back, like
Hmm.
somebody fucking just like clubbed my shit, and I like looked down again, and we had this kitchen. So just look at my jewel. This kind of like what my kitchen looked like. Like there's the living room was right here. There's a walk-in entrance here, and then the kitchen here, and then the out, and then the hallway. And my bed was down here, like down here, and this was the kitchen. And like
Okay.
from the doorway, I seen like this fucking like robed figure walking around the fucking like kitchen and shit. And like I looked over to my right and shit too, because that scared the fuck out of me. It was just like it was like wispy and shit. I looked to the right of me and I seen like these little fucking like it was like static and it was like going over my bed and shit. And like I got fucking freaked the fuck out. Like to the point where like I just shut my eyes so fast, like hard too. Like you know when people are like fuck, like goddamn, I just see that shit. Like I closed my eyes like that. And then I forgot what happened next. I think because like this was so long ago that it's like a blur. It's
Hmm.
like a blur. But like I remember bits and pieces. But I remember too, like a couple nights afterwards, like I was sleeping down in my dad's room with my stepmom and shit, because we were like watching a movie down there and shit. And then I felt my fucking toe get like pinched, like just a pinch on my toe. And I woke up and shit, because like I've never been like fully asleep like ever when I was younger. So like I woke up, I was like, huh? I was like, who the fuck touched my fucking toe? Like I looked around and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like everybody's sleeping, it's pitch black in here. Like I hear my fucking dad snoring.
Hmm.
Like I was like, what the? I just instantly was just like panic mode. I was like, something fucking touched me. I can't see anything. Like I felt over onto my left too, because me and my brother were sleeping on like the inflatable and shit. And I was like, okay, he's fucking right here and shit. Like I don't know what the fuck be going on and shit. Like my fucking little sister wasn't or anything. Like I was just like fucking tripping out.
Damn.
Yeah,
Man.
so that's that shit. And like I've also had like weird like dream encounters and shit too. Like
You go into that, like what happened in the dreams, or is that too much?
yeah, I can go into that. Now this one is super sensitive. This one I wanted to bring up anyways. So my grandmother died back in like 20 no, in like 2004, 2000 around then and shit. And I was like 6, and I like had this dream because I was at my because me and my mom used to live with my other grandma before she passed away, and then we were fucking like I was asleep, and we're at her funeral and shit. It was an open casket, and like I remember it vividly. There's lines of chairs, like lined chairs, and then I was in the back row. I was in the back, like farthest middle down section on the far right, and I was like looking ahead at her and shit, and like I went up to her, like everybody was eating food over there and shit, cause like I don't even know why the fuck we were eating food at a fucking funeral either. That was the weirdest part. But I went down and shit, and then I seen her. And like I remember vividly, like I looked into her fucking eyes and shit, and like she just like opened up her fucking eyes and dragged me in. And as like a kid, like that had like it had a message to it, but like I've been trying to like decipher the fucking message for the longest fucking time. And like just dragging me into the fucking casket with her and shit, like it shut and everything. Like I remember me screaming in the dream, waking up, like it was just like fucking huge. It just fucked me up mentally like a week when I was younger, and like I remember it vividly to this fucking day. That's how shaken up I was about it. And that was literally like the only nightmare that I've ever had.
Damn.
Mhm.
Shoot, bro. Oh man. Damn, that's creepy. Uh, what about do you believe in do you believe in aliens? What about that? What's your
I believe
perception
in
of it?
aliens. I believe in aliens. I think that they're within like this plane too, but I also think that they're like fifth dimensional too, like what that one dude said live. Not Kazari, but the other guy that was just like randomly talking and shit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that they're fifth. I think that they're fifth dimensional,
Okay. Okay.
fifth and fourth dimensional, like higher dimensions and higher like they're either. I think that aliens can be on higher frequencies or frequencies, and
Hmm.
like when you're encountering these actual beings and shit, you need to have that frequency that they're on and shit. So like whenever you like encounter a malevolent being, you're on frequency and you need to start raising your frequency through like meditation and mindfulness. Cause like that shit, that's not good. But I know for a fucking fact that we are not the only fucking people in this universe right now. We're not the only fucking living fucking creatures. Like there's no fucking way. Like on planet Earth, like there's definitely like outside of our solar system, but there's no way in fuck that there isn't a fucking planet that's like placed in the perfect spot from a sun from there to not be life.
Hmm.
Like there's got to be life somewhere.
Okay. Okay. Um, so just for me to just make it more of a conversation to touch on that subject. Um. So you say, and this, I don't know, this, I'm going to sound like a stoner. I never touched weed a day in my life. I'm going to sound like a stoner when I say this. Like, well, I pay attention to what people say. I've noticed you mentioned that aliens are another living thing. So if there's another type of being out there, I'm gonna call them beings. How do you know that they're necessary? Is it still called living? Okay, because in our reality and in our world, everything that we see that lives dies. You know, there's a
Mm-hmm.
birth, living, then you die. What if there are beings, just hypothetical, and what you would say about that? What if there's beings out there that didn't have a birth? So, like, I think they mentioned that in the live too. We're limited to our perception and what we can perceive because we were born. We had a beginning, at least in a physical sense. We had a beginning. So,
Mm-hmm.
like us trying to perceive things now, or like in my idea, like how as a Christian, how we think of God, in my belief, God never had a beginning, and He doesn't have an end. He's a continuously existing being. Death is just in birth, and yeah, death and birth are introduced to us because we're limited. So, do you feel like aliens or things could have that too? Like, are they necessarily considered living, or are they just other beings?
To us, they're living, but to them, they could have like a different, you know. But I think personally, like aliens, like they probably are limited in their own sense. They have to be limited in their own sense, unless they have been evolving, and evolving. But like aliens, like you never know. You fucking never know. You never know. Like we don't, bruh. Literally, we've been to the fucking moon, but we barely even like discovered the majority of our fucking oceans and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's the issue, bro. Like we just be thinking too much. We just need to. And I'm guilty. I am guilty for that. I'm guilty for that. I think way too much.
Can I add this again? I'm sorry. I wanted more. I wanted to have a conversation. So that's one more thing I wanted to touch on. So
Yeah, for sure.
what I think this is, and you mentioned the moon. Now, and another thing you mentioned this in the chat too. You saying not a flat earther, but there's an interesting thing that I noticed that flat earthers say that science and whatnot don't really like to touch on, and it's kept like very under like wraps. Like you rarely hear this talked about. So the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
We only since the beginning of time, since people have been drawing the moon, and what we see now to the earliest like civilizations we can go to, we've always only seen one face of the moon at all times. I think that is so like we had the moon, like they say the moon. If you look at the heliocentric model, the moon spins around us, and it also like we spin on our axis and we revolve around the sun, but the moon spins on its axis and revolves around us. But how we revolve, they say that we revolve so perfectly that we only see one side of the moon at all times. And like the moon was also spinning as it's spinning around us, it's revolving on its axis at all times. So like as it spins, it's going like this. We only see one side, but it's also spinning. If that makes sense. Like how do you like? I feel like what would you say on that? I think that's fishy. If the moon is something tangible and something out there and it's physical and round and it's something we can land on, but we've only seen one side of it. Like that's why the saying the dark side of the moon, because we've never seen any other side. I feel like that's strange. What do you feel about that? Like
I think that the moon isn't fucking real.
You serious?
The moon isn't fucking real. Nothing outside of the planet could. It could be or it couldn't be real. No, I don't think that the fucking moon is real.
Damn, that's interesting.
I don't think that the moon is real. I don't think that anything is real. I personally don't. Like, the outside space is most likely real, but you never know if space is space. You know what I mean? Like, you literally never know what the fuck is going on. Like, we could all be, like, fucking inside of weird cocoons and shit on this huge fucking pole that's just a million fucking, like, miles up and shit, and it's just like a whole bunch of creatures just stuck in, just experiencing this weird reality headset on. Like,
right.
You never fucking know. Like, everything is so fucking just like magnificent. Like, this is like definitely like we're literally in a virtual fucking game, dude. Like, this is like a game right now. Like, this is virtual reality right now. Like, our brains right now, dude. Like, I guarantee you, bro. I guarantee you. Reality is a simulation, okay? Tell me why the fuck reality and a lot of things that are found within reality can be found in a fucking computer, the way a computer runs.
Yeah.
All that shit. Like, I'm not gonna step too deeply onto that topic because I'm not 100% like about that, you know what I mean? But like, I know quite a bit about it, and it's like they show similarities, you know what I mean? And like the Fibonacci sequence, how like there's perfect numbers within like plant matter and shit like that. Like, there's just like things like trees and shit, like the spiraling of a tree always creates a perfect Fibonacci ratio and shit like that. Like pine cones, the patterns, everything is a pattern. And when you have patterns, then you usually have some sort of fucking like, it's hard to explain. It's very hard to explain right now.
And I said this in the chat, I don't know if you saw, it's kind of the string theory idea. that
Yeah.
the slightest touch, it create and the string theory is that there is other realities. So like they call it the string because I think the smallest form, even smaller than a molecule, is simply just a string. And when like when that string is I don't know if it's vibrated or whatnot. It's something they say is about it's hard to explain. It's something to do with the string, but every single change that happens, even on a minuscule level, no matter how like quantum or minuscule it is, even smaller than an atom, it creates a change in a parallel universe. So that's kind of like what string theory is. So you believe that?
Of course. Of course.
Interesting, bro. Man, I love this fucking talk. I'm loving
Yeah,
this
me
fucking
too.
talk, bro. I don't know if you can tell. I'm loving this fucking talk.
I'm loving this shit too. I love talking about this shit. It allows
Swear.
me to like, cause like, bro, I always used to overthink about this shit. Like when I was younger, like when I was like 16, it was literally, I was just literally like, I was 16, I was with glasses and shit. I was just a nerd, bro. I was a nerd for, bro. Like I was just taking, I was a fucking drug fucking dude. I was just like, nom nom. Like I was smoking weed all the time. I was taking psychedelics all the fucking time. Like I was just trying to discover shit like this. And it always just led to the same point, like of just fucking confusion. That's why I like to fucking talk and bounce with other people because like I've always been super antisocial with these kind of conversations, bro. Because like I feel like nobody can understand exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like I don't know, a lot of people like even like my close friends and even my family they just don't understand. You know?
Yeah, trust me. I don't. This is why I say I like to defend my Christianity. My mom and my dad are completely different. The way they raised me and what they taught me to believe, and that's why like people say you only a Christian because you were raised that way. Like no, as I grew, I've turned completely. Like me and my mom and my all of my family, we disagree on a lot of subjects, even though we're still considered Christian. So like yeah, so I agree with that entirely. And yeah, no one can truly understand your perception and through your eyes. There's a cool thing that I've always thought of, like when you touched on earlier, something that you believed because you thought of it earlier. Like you've already had that thought, but you heard that it's an idea later. Mine was I heard this thing and I saw it as a YouTube ad and I was like, no, like someone actually thought of it. So like an example. So my to me let me pick something up. To me, this is yellow. This is yellow to you as well. But
Mm-hmm.
my form of yellow in seeing this might be your red. Do you get what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. It's
So like
perception.
yeah, so like the way your eyes might function, it might even if it's the slightest minute thing, if I look through your perception, that's red to me. But in my perception, that's yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've had that thought as well before as well too. And that's just a literal sight thing. Imagine like perception and smell and thought and action and emotion. Like imagine how different we actually are in terms of those different things. Like what do you feel about that?
I think that human beings need to understand that everything in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like reality is a shifting process. You know, for every single person, it shifts in a different way for everybody. Everybody experiences it different. It's not like we're all like the same. You know, we're all born as our own. We're ourselves, and like seeing other people like try to judge somebody for their perception is fucking. They're just stupid. You know, like if that. Let's just say like if that bag of what were those like fucking
Like
shit like
cookie
cookies.
shit.
If those fucking cookies right there were red for me and you seen them as yellow and I attacked you for seeing them as yellow, then who am I to attack you for seeing them yellow if I see them as red? I think I
Yeah.
fucked it up a little.
Like you said earlier, it's subjective. It's a
Yeah,
subjective reality.
it's literally it's like everybody sees things different and some people just don't understand that shit, you know?
Yeah. I get that. I like that. I like that idea. Let me see. This not gonna be the last time I interview you, bro. So, so like, yeah, I'm gonna save some of those questions like that for later. But I did want to touch on that with you. Like that was dope as hell. Anything
For
else
sure.
you feel like you and I left out on that subject that you wanted to say?
Um
Go into it, bro. If there is.
re- remember to always think positive because negative thoughts destroy you. That's it. We're
Lit.
done.
Okay,
We're
okay.
done here on that conversation.
Let me see. Let me see if I can ask a few more questions. I got about two or three more questions for you, if that's all right with
for
you.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. So let me see. So, what do you feel about the topic of like drugs and misogyny and violence and things like of that nature in music and the culture? Like,
You see, drugs are fucking stupid. Drugs are very fucking stupid. People that promote drug use are usually they need to quit doing that shit. There's kids that listen to your music. I literally my music, like I tell everybody that listens to my music is the way that I feel. And they just say like I'm popping a bean. It's like nah, like that shit's stupid as fuck. That's generic. And yeah, women are fucking beautiful. Women are beautiful. Like women just throw themselves at rappers and shit. It's fucking stupid. I've gotten so many fucking girls hitting me up just because I have a SoundCloud link. Literally, they're just like, I'm like, nah.
how easy is it to make a SoundCloud? I'm kidding. I'm playing, bro.
Nah, you don't even want them, bro.
I
I
know.
promise you. They're looking for clout, bro. Like, sometimes I even be like, I feel like my girl gonna suck a rapper's dick, like if he's famous, I'd be overthinking that shit.
Yeah, it makes
It's
you
like that shit's
paranoid.
yeah, that shit's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. All I gotta say is that I'm up next. I don't care. I've been grinding too hard not to be. Me and all the rich, we've been grinding way too hard to not be, dude.
True shit,
Like
bro.
literally.
Hell
But
yeah. Hell yeah. Shout out Rich. Shout out Rich. Let me see. Where do you see the underground going in the next, say, because we're coming in on a new decade, so the next few years, where do you see the underground being? Still where they are, or worse, or better?
everybody that's fucking negative and stupid, still where they are. Definitely. Everybody that's trying to progress and continue moving down a path of just a genuine path with good intentions,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna make it for sure. I know a couple artists that are for sure gonna make it, and that's it. I'm not even gonna touch names. I'm just gonna keep it at that. I know that a few of my friends are gonna make it. That's it.
And the person I'm talking to. But
Hey.
hey, 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 hey.
Hey man, you gotta keep that shit on the low though. I ain't making it, man. I don't know.
Fucking whispering.
Bro, this is the ASMR Tekken and life.
I'm gonna eat a cracker.
You can hear me snapping my fingers.
What the hell?
Shit, dude, I do that shit in Discord all the fucking time. I be dropping in on my computer and I be like, "Hey!" Coming in all loud and shit.
That shit's so
Dude,
funny,
rip
bro.
the fucking headphone users that are watching this shit.
Fuck.
Cause I'm bad for you.
I'm gonna ear rape it some more just for that.
Drugs.
All right, we're done here now. We're done. We're done with that distorted shit.
Do
Is
one
there
more.
anything
Do
else?
one more. Do one more. Do one more.
There we go.
Bro, you sound like some shit off Ed, Edd n Eddy. I don't know why I thought of that shit.
Bro, we lit. We lit.
Hey. Oh shit.
Any more
Oh, let me
questions?
see. One of my last questions. Where do you see for what is to come from Tekken in the future?
What's gonna come from me? Well, very ambient project on the 24th. Big emotion shit. A lot of shows are coming up very soon. I'm getting in contact with bookers. Literally, I'm talking to bookers every single fucking day. A lot more music with me and other features from like Psy, a bunch of other people that I work with, and I don't know. Dude, I always get stuck on them questions, bro, because I don't even know what's going
It's
except for
cool,
me
bro.
getting.
It's your first interview. It's cool, and I'm still new to it too. So it's cool, bro. It's cool. It's cool. I'm just happy. I'm pretty sure, like as a fan, I'm pretty sure your other fans are just happy to hear like information from you. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah, facts.
we get to know more shit about you. So Anything else that you feel I left out? Like any questions I didn't ask, or anything you just want to let your fans know, or whoever. Like,
All right, I'll just give a basic rundown of who I am. All right, so my name is Grant. I'm from Wisconsin. I already explained this at the beginning of the video, but I just wanted to touch base upon like who I am and what I went through in my life. And I want to make sure that I can have everybody relate to this because this is like something that I want to make sure that everybody that watches and finishes and understands and conceptualizes this whole interview can like vibe with and understand. All right, so I've dealt with like anxiety, depression, fucking PTSD. I have bipolar depression, so I'm manic sometimes and shit where I'm just like super happy out of nowhere and shit. And like I've dealt with a lot of issues in my life, like
my bad.
but like oh you're straight. But like I just want to make sure that everybody that is dealing with that same shit continues and pushes down the righteous and positive path. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that everybody continues to make the greatest choices for themselves, and I want to make sure that everybody just becomes the best them that they could possibly be. Because if they're not being the best them, and they're trying to be the best somebody else, then they're gonna get caught and lost later on in life. So I want everybody that is watching this shit. I need you guys to be yourself always and continue to prosper in your own way possible, and always, just always, 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 never take somebody else's judgment to heart, and just make sure that you just continue moving forward and push through all your demons.
Okay, lit, bro, lit. Uh, Thank you for the freaking opportunity, bro. Like I said, it's not gonna be the last time I interview you.
For sure.
Like especially when you develop and grow as an artist, like it would be cool to come back and like see, where you've been, like the gaps and like what's happened through the gaps. So yeah, bro. So definitely.
For
Let me
sure.
see. Where can we find your music?
On SoundCloud and on Spotify and on YouTube, depending on the promotion channels.
Okay, okay. I'll send it to me. I'll put it in the description, like everything that that you're on. So yeah. So
For sure.
like I said, don't hang up and after I end I'm just gonna end the recording. But yeah, don't hang up
Okay.
just yet. I still want to talk to you. So like yeah, so yeah, so anything else? Anything?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, bro. Well, that was Tekken, bro. His stuff will be in the description. So shout out everybody. Much
Gang,
love,
I
Tech.
love you. Gang.
Gang, gang.